never sacrifice your own personal integrity. You can't get that back. It takes a lifetime to build a reputation and one or two stupid things to ruin it. Hello guys, welcome to a dreary day in Ohio. Fortunately, the car we got is not dreary. But I got a good question here, and he writes, "Hello Casey, my name is Justin and I'm from Powell, Ohio, or Fenton, Michigan. I'm a 22-year-old senior engineering student at Kettering University, and I eat, sleep, and breathe cars. I currently work at TL Sport in Owosso, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, but I'm doing the best I can, Michigan, and we specialize in aftermarket turbochargers, wastegates, and blow-off valves. I want to get into engine and chassis design and development, but I don't know exactly where to start. I one day want to own a race/speed shop that focuses on drag racing chassis, engines, and transmissions. I'm wondering what kind of advice would you give someone like myself? I appreciate your time and input tremendously. Best regards, Justin." Well, man, I think I got just the stuff for you. Let's go for a drive. So, first of all, I think you're off to a good start. Working in a performance shop that specializes in equipment for building more power, for building performance machines, etc. is great. My best suggestion to you while you're there is learn as much as you can and develop yourself as an individual and professional. What I mean by that is, first, let's start with the product. You should know that stuff inside and out. Every little detail, every little variant, how it works, the theoretical aspect of it, as well as the application. The more you can learn across the board, the better. It is a free education, okay? They're actually paying you to be there, but you have the opportunity to learn. If you were in college, not only would they not be paying you to be there, they would be charging you thousands of dollars to learn the same kind of stuff. So think of it that way. It's a really great opportunity. Now beyond that, it's also an opportunity for you to learn from their business. You know, how does business life work? What's the bottom line? Are they advertising? How are they with people? How are they with managing their employees? Whether it's good or bad, and maybe it's just information you quietly file in your head, you're gonna learn a lot. So that's a really great start, and I'm proud of you there. Now, let's break this down into the two questions you asked about. You said you'd like a future relating to chassis design and engine design. Just wanna make a note, that's highly technical stuff. So, if you really are speaking with regard to designing from scratch, from the ground up, all the theoretical, all of the engineering, that's one level. If what you're speaking of relates to engine building, engine modification, chassis building, custom building, etc., that still requires a lot of the theoretical, but that's highly practical. So I'm gonna go with exactly what you wrote with regard, let's say you really want to design stuff from the ground up, you know, like what manufacturers are doing and pushing the envelope of manufacturing and product and industry forward. With regard to that, you have got to do one of two things. Generally speaking, a mechanical engineering degree at a college or university is going to be a great and best start for you there. But if you only went to school to get a mechanical engineering degree and nothing else, you're not going to be able to design chassis and engines. You're just not. I don't care what colleges and universities want you to think, because you're paying them, and what cocky students think. You can't. There's just not enough learn there. But what you're doing now is on the right path. So just remember, if you want to design stuff from scratch, you have got to have the theory rock solid with regard to engineering and understanding, and also, you know, your computer rendering. Obviously SolidWorks is the most popular, but you've got to be good at that, because that's what the future is. That's what the future is for manufacturing. So you've got to basically be able to simulate everything that's going on in your head conceptually, as well as be able to utilize computers and understand where that's going. So that's really what you're looking at. Keep forwarding yourself as an individual, hands-on, learning what you can see outside of school. But if you really want to get into engine design, chassis design, etc., on a very serious theoretical level of engineering, you're going to need some kind of degree with that. You're going to need a formal education, but you've got to pair those two things. So, moving on to your other question relating to starting a shop. Drag racing, engine building, chassis design, potentially race car support, etc. I've got a lot of wisdom there. But what I'm going to do is I want to keep this impartial for you, starting off. So I'm going to start with some tidbits of information that I find that young people generally don't think of when they think about doing that. What I usually see, and probably was there myself one day, a long time ago, is it's very you're very positive, you're excited, you're a bit idealistic. Oh my gosh, I love building cars. I should do that as a job, and I should have my own shop, and that'll be amazing. Yeah, it can be, and it can also be a horrific nightmare from hell of which you hope there is a return, okay? I'm being honest, it's business and life. The things I want to point out for you, you just have to be aware of going in, and we're going to get to some positive things, so don't freak out. I'm not trying to be like your dad or something, you know what I mean, your proverbial dad. It's difficult, because here's the thing. If you're building race cars, custom cars, things that go fast, you've got some kind of liability, and it's high. It's a high liability. And it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, or how much money you have. Lawyers in this day and age want to mess you up. So the first and foremost, absolute most important thing, if you're going into business with anything like that, remember this: there are good clients and there are bad clients. You got to trust your client as much as they trust you. And the other thing is, you need everything in writing. Do you understand me? Because when you own a shop or a business, the world wants to mess you up and take it away from you. They just do. It's just, that's the way it is in this day and age. So, if you understand that, and you can structure yourself right, have good, solid relationships, whether that's with, let's say you have a machinist shop that you're working with, or whether that's with your client, then you can make it. So, what do you look at it going in? First and foremost, it is a business. It is a business. There is a bottom line. There are numbers. You have to make a profit. You have to think of everything you can't think of that will cost money. Yeah, forget rent, utilities, costs, materials, etc., taxes, you name it, across the board. There's a million and one little things that will eat up your bottom line and make it hard for you to make a living. You've got to be aware of those things. So, even if you're only going into business with yourself, with your own investment of time, money, resources, etc., you still need a business plan. If you don't have a business plan, whether flawlessly verbalized that's mentally in your head, or written, that you can't show somebody that just flat out in business thinks is, this is a good plan, I think you're gonna be all right. If you can't do that, do not start trying to open a shop. You're not ready. You're just not. And that's nothing against you, it's just, it is a business. So those are my biggest pieces of advice. The only other two small things are, you gotta be hugely talented. Not only talented, but you got to be able to work efficiently and quickly. My other note to you is, never sacrifice your own personal integrity. You can't get that back. It takes a lifetime to build a reputation, and one or two stupid things to ruin it. So always stay on the side of right, integrity, and good value. And that's gonna make the world a better place. But it's genuinely a hard world out there. So keep that dream, keep it in mind, but you've got to have a solid business plan, and you have to know brass tacks whether can you cut it or not. And even if you can cut it, is that going to be the best direction in living for you? And if it's not, then find something else. Because I'm going to tell you something that I don't understand why people have not told young people more. It's perfectly okay to have a really cool hobby, and maybe even a side hustle hobby. But you've got to worry about your career. And if that's working for a fantastic manufacturing operation or a larger company as an engineer or whatever, that's great, And the other thing is, the world is set up for that better. From everything from getting benefits to insurance of life to getting loans, etc. So being self-employed is brutally difficult nowadays. It just is. Especially in the car world, because in many ways the car world is nothing more than a bunch of male Siamese fighting fish in the same fishbowl. So anyway, man, I really like what you're doing. I think the business place that you're at, you're gonna learn a tremendous amount. That's just like what I did when I was younger in college. I got to work part-time at that Ferrari shop, and I also worked as a bicycle mechanic. Learned a lot. So that's really great. That's great for your education. If you want to get into serious theoretical chassis design, engine design, to where you may be working for some kind of manufacturer or high-end racing organization or Formula One team or something in the future, then you're going to need that mechanical engineering degree, and you're going to need to do a really great job at it and have great internships, co-ops, etc. across the board. But never forget, and this is the most important part, you can't just go to school, graduate engineering, and be super valuable to industry. That's not actually how that works. You have to go out there, and you have to have all the behavioral side, all the practical side, all the teamwork ability, all the leadership ability. You've got to develop yourself as an individual and experience, because school can't and isn't doing that. So nothing negative there. And just remember, if you want to go into business with race cars, engine design, whatever that may be, cool. But you got to have a rock solid business plan that you can actually implement. And you have got to know, is this going to be the best path for your life? Okay? So in the meantime, keep having fun with cars. I hope I run into you sometime soon, and maybe get a kick out of me driving around the Viper on this very dreary day in Ohio. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.